All right, guys, welcome back to another case study interview. Welcome to Navid.
Thanks, Connor. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm super excited to have you here because what a ripper of a case study. Uh, this is just such an amazing story because, man, you've had so many setbacks and so many problems and challenges, and this journey hasn't been easy. It's been very difficult for you. And I think a lot of people who hear this story are going to be inspired, not only current clients of the RSA, but um, just people that want to make money online, understanding that I talk about the recurring theme of like how making money with high ticket sales and making money online isn't easy. And Naveed is a perfect representation of that, of sticking through when the times get tough. And man, I'm just super excited to have you here.
Yeah, dude, I'm pumped, man. It's been a journey. Exactly 1 year pretty much now,
Yeah, it's insane to
huh?
think about. The timelines just kind of slip through our fingers. And so I want to hear it from your mouth as well, just so I'm not just saying things. How much have you done in the last 30 days as a full-time high ticket closer?
In total, it's about 10.5K now. I've gone over 11. I pretty much hit 11.5K, but I had like a refund
Uh,
that went through. So take that away and yeah, down to 10.5. But it's the biggest month I've had so far. So dude, it's really big. Because I remember like when we first started exactly a year ago, I was like, dude, I want to get
mm,
10K a month and travel the world, and I literally did that. Like I
yeah,
set off like 2, 3 months ago. But I wasn't in that position 2, 3 months ago, which is maybe something we'll touch on, like when you're at zero and then you just boom, you just skyrocket.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, dude, like all of a sudden everything just like clicks, and then you go travel, hit 10K, and then now we're on a good path to hit above that. So much more potential for me.
yeah, man. I'm super excited to explore your story because I think so many people will resonate with it because it's very similar to mine, except you've gotten there a lot faster, like a lot of my clients do that put in the work. So I'm really excited to share that story. And so let's go back a year ago or even further back before you met me. What were you doing? What was your perspective or your view on making money online before you met me? Like what were you doing?
I mean, before I met you, I was in like a tech sales role, like a 9 to 5 corporate tech sales role for like a US company. Um, but before that, I was a PT, like a personal trainer in person. And then what got me actually into the online space was Iman Gadzhi. So I think it was called Agency Navigator.
Mm,
I bought that in 2021, I think, like November, December, th something like that. And to be honest, like I did a little bit of the program and went like halfway through, but I didn't actually get anything out of it. But that's my fault because there were people getting results. But I guess fast forward a couple months after that, I decided to travel. I went overseas to South America and Asia, and then I started meeting people who, not necessarily doing like online things, but they're working remotely and they're making like a Western salary and they're living like kings overseas. So I come back and I've just got like this itch in my head. I need to make something work. And I thought like tech sales was that avenue for me, but come to find out like it's a 9 to 5, like locked down to the office kind of thing. You don't have that freedom. So then I went into that loop of like looking into things like drop shipping, e-commerce, even Etsy, affiliate marketing, and all those things, dude, they all like need like not necessarily just an investment for like the program because that's fine, but it's like you're flushing money down the drain with like things like ads, actual product, and there's a lot of saturation as well. So to be honest, I never took a step in there. So I just kept looking. I kept looking and looking, and then I came across actually Jack Hopkins, 10K accelerator, and I was literally about to hit purchase the 10K accelerator because it was on sale, right? Forgot how much
mm,
for, probably like a grand or something. And then I was
mm.
like, I was super skeptical. I was like, I don't want to just invest like into something and it's not going to work out. So I decided to do some research and somewhere I don't know where it was probably in the fine print or something. It was like Connor Healy runs the program. I'm like, all right, let me look into this guy. Right, I found your Instagram. I'm scrolling through your videos. I'm like, oh, cool. I like this guy. You know what I mean? And then I was like, why not just like work with you directly? So I remember I hit you up. I think it was like message me sales or something for to get
Hmm.
started, some keyword. And then I
Yeah.
think you sent me like a voice note. We booked in a call. And I actually had another call booked as well with some other guy. I won't name him. He's not even doing this stuff anymore, to be honest. He's some dating coach now.
Okay.
Um, and I actually put down a deposit with him. And I was like, yeah, I'll get
Wow.
back to you because I've got someone else that I want to talk to as well. The calls were at 3 a.m. and even like I wasn't too aware of sales skills back then, like objection handling, but he tried to objection handle me and it just felt weird. I was like, nah, you know. So I
How
hopped on the
much
call with you.
how much of a deposit did he take from you?
Oh, I just took $100 and then
Okay, not so bad.
he refunded it. He refunded it. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, he was a bit of a weirdo to be honest. But yeah, I guess but yeah, and then we just hopped on the call. I think you're just like you're Aussie, obviously. You're genuine. I mean, I didn't know you then, but you seem very genuine. So I was um, like I felt like I was in good hands. So I was like, let's just do it. Like I was keen to get something going. It was just about finding the right vehicle for me to actually like go on and have the financial freedom, location freedom, and everything. And luckily I found it.
What drew to high ticket sales specifically? Because like you mentioned, you look through a bunch of different business models, and there are a million that work out there. Was it your background in traditional sales, or like what was it that specifically drew you to high ticket sales?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, like what you just mentioned, like I already had the background there, so I figured like I can kind of take that and transfer it over. It's also like I had never heard of it, so I'm like, if I haven't heard of it, then it's like pretty up and coming. It's new, which I think right now it's like everyone's going in, but like back
Mm,
then, like it's still even right now it's still pretty small. It's still a small space compared to things like drop shipping and all the other business models. But I was like, if I can get into this and succeed early, then I'm one of those guys that's just gonna like shoot to the top. You know what I mean?
yeah, big
Um,
time. Well, I mean, when you think about like all the different business models people talk about, high ticket sales is becoming more popular, but the ones that people know of are trading, affiliate marketing, SMMA, dropshipping. Very rarely does someone ever say high ticket sales. So from my perspective, yeah, it's becoming more hot and it's becoming more popular, but really, I think the industry is so much smaller than people realize, and there's still so much opportunity to take advantage of. Just from what I've noticed, people can who are watching can really think about it. How many times have you heard in people talking about high ticket sales as a way to make money online? Yeah, it happens, but it's definitely nowhere near as popular as the traditional business models and vehicles that you probably hear all the time.
100% do. 100% for sure. And the thing is as well, um, like it's probably a little scary for some people. Like drop shipping, you kind
Mm,
of be behind the scenes. Here it's like you actually have to put yourself out there.
yes.
Which is why like those people who are looking to actually get into something like this, it's like you have the upper hand. Because like really if you go into other business models like drop shipping, affiliate marketing, you're competing with so many people around the world, probably people from India, Pakistan, Asia, all that kind of stuff, who are sitting behind the laptop and are just complete wizards at all this stuff. Whereas when you're actually like on the camera and you're speaking and all that kind of stuff, like there's still competition, right? But it's a lot different. Like it's a whole different game, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, big time. And so you came in, you decided to trust me, take that leap of faith, which is a very hard thing to do. And so you come in, you join. What happened
Mhm.
from there?
Dude, I mean, I joined up and then 2 days in, I landed an offer.
Yeah.
Like you pretty much,
Was that with I mean I don't want to expose the company's name, but WN?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
2 days.
That was fine.
Crazy.
2 days, dude, yeah. You posted in the community and then you're like, oh, DM if you want the opportunity. And then I was nervous, dude. I was like, far. I've barely even gone through like a lot of the videos. But I was like, let me have a crack. Like, if not now, then when? So
Mm,
um, yeah. I mean, I messaged you, and then you linked me up with the owner or the guy who runs it. And
hmm.
then pretty much just got on board. And it wasn't even like an interview. It was just like chill because like I mean, you talk about a lot about the
That
network kind
network.
of stuff. Yeah, yeah. And it's like when you actually come through like the network or it's a referral, it's usually that call's usually just onboarding and obviously like I guess shooting the shit a little bit to see if you get along.
Mm.
Um, but then obviously you have to perform on the offer as well to stay on. You can't just have a good interview and then yeah, that's that.
and not perform. Yeah, 100%. So you get in, you're super nervous, and it's a very new space to you. You land a role in 2 days, which is for closing, by the way, which is pretty rare to do that like
Yeah.
straight off the bat. What was your experience doing that? How scary was it? What were your results there? And what was your overall experience on that particular offer or that business that you work for in general?
Um, so going to that offer, I mean, it was a whole new taste of things.
Sales.
You know what I mean? It's a whole
Yeah.
new taste of sales because I was doing like more dialing, SDR work, which is pretty much appointment setting when it comes to this kind of space. Just doing like more volume. Here, it's like you're doing taking like 45 minutes of 1 hour calls, and you have to be a lot more dialed in. Like there's a lot more on the line. But the thing is, it's like I actually I got my first PIF within like 2 or 3 days, and I think the ticket price for that offer was like I don't know, like 4K, 4,500 or something like that. 3K US, I believe. And dude, when that PIF came through, oh man, like just seeing that number, it's like 10% comms on that, 450 bucks for one sale. Dude, that's like, I don't know how much I was making on a daily, dude, but like that's more than how much I would make in a day's work in my regular job. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So I was like, dude, this is real. You know what I mean? This
mm,
is real. Like when you get that first internet, I literally made a post about the internet money in the RSA
yeah.
as soon as
Yeah.
I got it. But it's like when you actually get that first taste, you're like, damn, it's possible. It's really possible. And it's nuts,
What
you know?
beliefs did that break for you, right? Because you see that, you earn in less than an hour what you would make in a day. Like, how did that change your worldview and your perspective on making money online, do you think?
I mean, obviously it's possible, but also that like I know it sounds cliche because people on the internet have probably heard it, but money isn't real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Money isn't real. I mean, there's people who've gone like decades studying like university and staying in jobs, building their way up the corporate ladder. And you have like a kid like in his 20s, right, who's gonna come in and all of a sudden, not I'm not even talking about myself, like there's plenty of people in the RSA, making 10, 15, 20, even above that, $1,000 a month, right? Coming in with like 6 months to a year of experience, and these guys are making more than engineers, some types of doctors, and all these corporate jobs. And it's like money isn't real. You just have to find a way to actually print it. Like it's literally printing money. You know what I mean? In a way.
Yeah,
So
absolutely, dude. Yeah, I mean, it blew my mind when, I was, and it's not even just like the money, it's the flexibility and the freedom that's attached to it too, because
mhm,
we'll dive into how hard you've worked this month, because I like to really just shine the light on the reality of things, that this is not a 3 to 5 hours a day, high ticket
yeah,
closer, kick your feet up on the beach type thing, which it can eventually be to the point if you're on the right offer and you have enough experience, you have enough skill level. But it's not only the money, but it's also what comes with it. Because I mean, we'll talk about this a little bit later on because I'll talk about a few other things now. But having the ability to travel and go places, like
mhm,
you're living a reality that's only ever really been possible for the general person in the last 20 bit years, where you can travel to any location in the world and work from your laptop. Like it's an
mhm,
insane concept when you really think about it. Like people
mhm,
will work and study, years in a degree and get, you know, up to six figures, multiple six figures in debt, depending where in the world.
yeah,
And yeah, you might eventually make six figures a year, but what is the sacrifice that comes with it? Spending time away from your family, not having the flexibility to travel, only being given 2 weeks a year. Whereas if you are in high ticket sales, yes, it is commission only and you don't earn a lot at the start, but you have that full freedom and flexibility and autonomy if you stick to it for long enough.
100%. 100%, dude. The thing is like risks on both side of things, right? Like going commission only, there's obviously the risk of, you're doing a shit job, you don't get paid, the offer goes to crap, your Facebook, the ads account gets shut down, you get kicked off the team. On the other hand, you got the risk of, just living, that comfortable life with a 9 to 5, which is fine as well if you want to do that. But it's like you got to weigh it out on what you want. For me, I wanted, the ability to scale my income as fast as possible. Because I was realistically in a corporate job that, you can work your way up and make 6 figures, but it takes a couple years. Once the taxes kicks in, it's really just like it's still like break even with the cost of living. Like, what's the point? And that's the risk if
Mm,
you stay with this kind of lifestyle, right? But on the other hand, like you take this risk where you go commission only, you might not make any money, dude. Like for a couple months, you know what I mean? But the thing is, you go all in on yourself and really make it work, then the reward is crazy. You're going to be making three, four, five times, even more than that, once you actually get it to a certain point. You know what I mean? Alongside that, you have the freedom to like travel and man, like I'm not too fussed about the time freedom kind of thing. Like at this point in my life, I just want to work.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, eventually as well, like the time freedom aspect of things as well, depending on like the offer you're on and the ticket price, I guess, you know?
Yeah, big time. Yeah, it always comes back to the question of what's more risky. It's like, are you happy with the risk that you're taking in your current position, or are you looking to take a risk and really just take the leap of faith? Because it
Mhm.
is incredibly scary. I know more than anybody else, how scary it is to jump into making money online and trying to
Mhm.
figure it out. But you have to really consider like the potential consequences if you do stay where you're at and nothing
Yeah,
changes. Because if you lack the urgency, well, you won't make it work. But there's usually some form of urgency that people have. You just don't realize it yet. You really just need to start digging a little bit, in my opinion, and asking yourself, what are the potential ramifications if I do still stay where I'm at, if nothing changes? Because you'll find there will be. Just most people aren't aware of it.
100%, dude. 100%. And even for me, like having that safety net of getting like a salary from like a sales job I was in, it was like I didn't feel as fulfilled. You know what I mean? But like I've been at the lowest point in my life when it comes to the sales stuff. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
financially. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Obviously, like in the build up phase, not like I was kicking back doing nothing, but as I was building up, I was at the lowest point. But that being said, like I would hop on calls with like Peter and the other boys, and I'm like, and I would tell Jordan as well, I feel so much more fulfilled, even though like I'm out here right now compared to like
Hmm.
you're making like a salary and it's comfortable, you just get in the reps and you're just getting paid, you know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like there's
Yeah,
a lot more
totally.
fulfillment there.
Oh, big time. Especially when you're working for yourself, technically, as opposed to another big corporate company. It makes a big difference. Like if
Mhm.
I'm working towards my own goals and where I'm going to and changing my situation as opposed to, working for, one of my first and only real job, as you could call it, retail at Bunnings. Um, you know, even though I was not making a lot of money at the start, it was more important to me that I was be able to create my own situation and create my own reality, as opposed to letting someone else create mine, which was a big change for sure. And so I'm very interested to hear your perspective on this because I have calls with guys from traditional sales all the time, all the time. I
Mhm.
actually had one like yesterday, and the same thing comes up every single time. Massive ego, sales guys that have been in tech sales or SaaS sales for a little bit, maybe a year, a couple of years. And they always tell me, Connor, I don't need sales training. I just need I just need placement. I just need to get a job, right? What's your perspective on that? Because you have a good insight to how things are very played differently in the high ticket sales
Mhm.
space as opposed to traditional. So I was curious to hear your perspective on that.
Is there anything specifically you want me to touch on when it comes to that, like skill aspect or
How
mindset
how
or
how like how different have you found sales made as compared to what you've done in the past?
Mhm. Yeah, I guess with depends on the offer you're on when it comes to this, because I've been on a B2B offer as well. It's a lot more
Mm,
emotional based. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you literally have like a customer in front of you who's in so much pain for whatever reason. Like I'm doing biz up. Most people are probably doing biz up, to be honest, right? When it comes to this space, there's so much pain there. And like it's more of like helping someone when it comes to that transition to that next chapter of their life. Like they're literally going
Hmm.
through some sort of shift. Like they're coming to you in pain, dude. Even the guys who, come up as tough guys and I didn't like the sophisticated ones. They're in pain. But
Hmm.
like the thing is, it's like when you just like in a B2B offer, like I was in tech sales, corporate, it's a lot more transactional. It's like, what can you do for me? Um, show me your product. Obviously, like you're digging into pain and stuff there as well, but it's a lot more transactional. You know what I mean? A lot
Mm,
more competitive as well. A lot more like I guess like price based and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, like there's techniques for that as well. But yeah, I guess it's more emotional when it comes to what we're doing here compared to like the B2B side of things. It's just more transactional, you know what I mean? But like someone transitioning from corporate sales to like this kind of sale, obviously there's carryover on both sides, right? Like I feel like,
mm,
you know, if right now I was to go back into corporate sales, which I won't, but like if I was to, like my skills just gone so much higher. Obviously you have
mm,
to adjust to the specific type of sales, but like it's gone so much higher. And the other side as well. But they are very different. You know what I mean? They are very different. It's a lot more emotional what we're doing, you know?
mm. Yeah, because I think a lot of traditional sales reps come to me. They think that they know it all. Is a big part of it.
Mhm,
They've seen it. They've been selling. They know it. And don't get me wrong, those skills definitely carry over. The things you've developed, but it's a very different process to what most are actually used to.
mhm,
The principles apply, but
mhm,
it's still a little bit of a different sale in the way that you go about things. So let's go back to your story for a minute. So you were in this offer, you made your
mhm.
first sale, you made your first dollars online. Where did things head to from there?
Yeah, so I was in that offer from August from when I joined until like December. Like that first month was really good, dude. Like I literally made
Yep.
all the money back for the RS. I think I did like maybe 4 or 5K on that first month, and it was part time I was doing. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Like I was literally just
yeah.
like hopping off my 9 to 5 sales job, and then afterwards I would hop straight into the calls for that offer. Sometimes I'd go into like 10 p.m., 11 p.m. taking calls, but that's when you kind of get to like the countries that you know aren't the best for it, like in Europe, not the most
Right.
financially well off. So
Mm,
it was a bit frustrating. But then, to be honest, when it came to that offer, you and I spoke about it as well. It started to go downhill. You know what I mean? Like
hmm.
ads, they try to create like some different kind of funnel or something like that, and funnel it from a different program they had, and they just shut off
Mm,
like the Facebook ads,
yeah.
which is really weird. So we literally didn't have leads for like a month, right? And then eventually, like, you know, they brought someone else in who, you know, no one really got along with him, to be honest. He was some like
Okay.
military drill sergeant kind of guy, and you know he was booking meetings, and I literally hop on a call with him, and I'm like it was training call, and then he
Mm,
thought I was on my phone for some reason. He starts like grilling me. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Like I'm here to learn from you. But like I guess I don't want to talk about that kind of drama, but it just went downhill. And
yeah.
then I decided to kind of leave that offer in like December because I was like, dude, I'm making sales here and there at that point. There's no point in just like being at home, being in front of the laptop, you know, waiting for calls to come in or having these calls when they're literally getting booked in from like Nigeria. You know what I
Mm,
mean? Which is the whole salary is going to go into yearly salary is going to go into the program.
mm,
But yeah, I basically left in December when it came to that offer. Great experience though. I'll tell you that gave me a taste of everything.
mm,
Um, Gave me a taste of everything and made me understand that it is real, like making money online. That being said, though, I still had so many doubts. Like there was a lot
yeah.
of uncertainty, a lot of self-doubt. Whether like it's even though like I would see people doing it, I knew you were successful. I still didn't know if I could do it personally.
Yeah.
I guess that's like the 9 to 5 mindset, right? Um, like really, I guess breaking that or overcoming that. And then I literally just took a step back, to be honest.
Yeah.
After I left that offer, like January, February, I was kind of just having fun, you know, summertime, go to the beach, party and stuff, all that. And then I remember, I think it was end of January, right? Or mid-January, something like that. I remember I was at the gym, I think. I was at the gym or I was somewhere and you messaged me. And to be honest, I kind of just left it for a couple of days. I'm not sure if you noticed.
You bastard. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
left it.
We
I'm
left me
like,
delivered.
I'm like, shit. You know what I mean?
Uh,
Because like I hadn't done anything, dude. I had not done anything. And then I was like, all right, you actually messaged me. You know what I mean? And then I just gave you some fluff about, yeah, just looking for some offers and all that kind of stuff. And that kind of sparked me a little bit. And I always had it in the back of my head, because I never actually gave up. I was never like, no, I'm done with it. To me, it was always more like delaying it. I'm like, yeah, I'll get to it. When this happens, I'll get started again. Like when this month comes around, I'll get started. You know what I mean?
Mm,
But I was just like pushing it back, like delaying it, which means like I was never actually going to get to it. Literally the worst form of procrastination
yeah.
I had. And then I think another month went by, and I literally remember the message. You were like, "Dude, have you gone back in the ring yet?" And I was like, I was
I'm
like,
persistent.
yeah, 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 100%. And I was like, yeah, still looking for an offer. And then you actually sent me like a message with a couple of, I think it was a KPI spreadsheet with the networking inputs and like the job applications, all that kind of stuff. You sent me like an onboarding video as well. You did for another student, because I don't, back then you didn't have the onboarding calls there when I joined, but you started implementing them, or
Yeah,
yeah. So
correct.
you sent me that one. I think you sent me something else as well. And I actually got started. Like I actually got started in things, but I still wasn't great with it. You know what I mean? I still wasn't great with it because I was like, is it even going to work out? Like the last offer went to crap. Like, is it real? Or like I was just had clouds of like thoughts in my head about this whole thing. But then like February, March came around and I was like, far out. Like I actually have to make this work. You know what I mean? Because I'm now seeing like, because in the meantime, like you're obviously messaging me, but I was still in contact with other boys. Like
Yeah.
our little clique that we have. Still in
Mm.
the group chat, and they're like messaging me. Peter's calling me. Boys are calling me, and what are you doing? Getting sucked into the matrix? And I'm like, dude, why are you still calling me, man? Like,
Oh
why are you still
man,
calling
those
me?
boys. They crack me up, dude. They crack me up.
Yeah. And where was I? And then the thing is, at that point, it's like all the guys, because we had like a group, like we had Kashi, we had Rahul, we had obviously Peter, like the guys that started at the same time as me, like July, August time, roughly, or even before that, around that February, March time is literally when I started seeing them like find success. They're making
Mm.
10K, they're going over to Thailand, they're traveling, they're actually doing it, dude. And in my head, I'm like, fuck. Like, I literally started with these guys, and these
Mm.
guys are making it. And meanwhile, I've taken a step back and I haven't done anything. I've just been in this
Yeah.
cycle. They really actually got to my head, like,
Mm.
in a good way, in a good way. Like, it
Yeah.
burned me up in a good way. But it's also like, I'm glad because like, they showed me it's possible because they're literally, like, they're my peers. They're right next to me, right? And I'm like, these guys
Mm.
literally started with me and they've shown me it's possible. But I still had a lot of the self-doubt, uncertainty, but just a lot of like, dude, like I'm like a lot of procrastination, all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let me just go work with Jordan. It wasn't just like that. Let me work with Jordan. I was like, dude, I need to fix my mindset. And then I had talked to Jordan because Jordan reaches out to people from the RSA, I believe. I talked to him in September, and I was like, let me fix my mindset, right? Because I really want to get this going. I don't want to be stuck where I am. And so Jordan came to mind, and I just reached out to him. I was like, dude, I think I joined a school community. Then I messaged him, and then I was like, yeah, dude, I'm not in a position to invest right now. I don't want to waste your time getting on a call. He was like, dude, don't sweat it. We'll just hop on a call and see if we can help. We did 2 calls, and then I just like literally like put on a credit card, just invested with him. I was like, why not? Like I invested. I won't say how much the investment is, even though he doesn't care, but
Mm.
like I put the investment in that because my mindset was like, dude, if I'm putting this money in, first of all, I'm going all in on myself, which means I have to make it work. Second of all, it's like I have the confidence that with this help now, right, I'm actually going to make that back, no stress. Like that's gonna if I'm going to get to 10K a month, then that money's no stress to me at all. You know what I mean? I've gone here now, so I mean that's a bit of the journey. I'm not sure if I filled in all the gaps there.
No, you fill in
Um,
the gaps for sure. So you
yeah,
started
yeah,
working with Jordan, and shout out to Jordan because he is so good that we actually hired into the community. So for
yeah.
those that you unaware, we actually have a mindset coach in the community. His name is Jordan. He's a handsome Irish man, and I've been friends with Jordan for a little bit over a year now. And yeah, one of the biggest things I noticed is that the biggest gap between people getting to where we want to go is not the training, it's not the support, it's not the coaching, all that type of stuff is fantastic. Like there's really
Mhm,
nowhere else you can get that level of support and experience.
mhm,
Um, it really is just how you think and your worldview, how how your mindset is how you're going to
mhm.
actually action and implement all those doubts you have, all those mindset issues you have, which you may not even realize you have. Jordan's going to be in there help you with that because in my biggest
Mhm.
belief, 0 to 10K a month is one of the biggest challenges on your mind ever, not just from a physical perspective, but very much a mental perspective, because everything is battling against you. Your parents don't believe in you. Your friends don't trust you. Your coworkers don't think that you can do it. Everything is going against you, even including yourself, because you doubt that
Yeah,
you're actually going to make it work. You don't think it's possible. You don't believe that this reality is actually real, and you have every doubt in your mind that it's not possible. And so having someone to guide you with that, I can help you guys from experience, but that's not anywhere near as good as someone who's actually an expert on the topic like Jordan is. So I've found that a lot of the guys who struggle with their mindset, which is the vast majority from 0 to 10, I think that's been a really helpful addition to the community from my perspective.
100%, dude. He has a lot to offer. He has a lot to offer because I'm sure the guys that like a lot of people will fall off, dude, when it comes to the journey of like the whole online thing because it's not easy. It's
Hmm.
not easy, dude. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, if they look around them, they don't know anyone making money online. I personally didn't know anyone making money online. So it's like, is it even
Hmm.
real? It's kind of like Jordan actually explains it. It's that dragon you have to overcome. You know what I mean? It's like that dragon you have to slay. So yeah, he has a lot of value to offer when it comes to like the whole online space, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
So shout out to Jordan. That's amazing. And so you did some work with Jordan. Things changed for you in a positive way. And where did you head to from there as far as like job acquisition?
yeah, so job acquisition. So around March, beginning March is when I started working with him. Pretty much, I think the second week of March, and then I started putting in the reps, applying for, I think like 5 to 10 job posts a day, doing the DMs, doing job mining on the Facebook groups. I was just even like the offers that were just like I knew were spam. You know the ones in the Facebook
Mm.
groups that are just not legit. I would just apply for them anyway. I'm just like cast your net out there, see what you can catch. And I actually landed a role doing that. Like it was like a fitness offer. Wasn't too great to be honest. Great guy
Hmm.
though, like the owner, but it wasn't the type of offer where you're going to come in and make great money. Um, and yeah, so I was in that for like a couple of weeks, and then as I transitioned out of that one, I actually had like a recruiter send me an offer or a couple offers actually. So I was interviewing. I had a couple of interviews in the pipeline. So I think I had like 3 to 4 interviews. One was for, I won't name any names. One was for like a setter role for a B2B offer, business coaching. One was for like a healthcare company selling like mobility scooters. That was a setting role, but they said in 6 weeks they'll transition into closing. That actually came with a base as well. The third one was the one I went into. So I decided to go into like an agency offer working with gyms. And yeah, and that's pretty much when I took the dive. Like I was in the 9 to 5. It was literally a crossroads for me because when did I leave? It was May, right? So it was like mid-May roughly. I was actually
Mm.
hitting my tenure, like 12 months at my tech sales role. And that's usually when you start to get looked at for like promotion as well into the next stage. So I hit that 12 months, and then I did the interview, right? And it turns out I actually landed the role, and I was meant to start within the next 2 weeks, for that promotion. But in my head, I was like, all right, I have two paths I can go down. So I go down that path where, look, you can always quit, like it's no stress at all. But I feel like, especially, I mean, I'm 22, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or like, it doesn't matter how old you are. The deeper and deeper you go into like that route, the harder it's going to be to get out. You know what I mean? You
Hmm.
got a car loan, like you got debts, you get more financial responsibility. Like you keep going and going down that road, like 6 months to a year, 2 years. It's like you can't really leave at that point. You got too much responsibility. So I had that route to go down. And then I was also like the other route where it's like, all right, well, in the background, I'm actually working on, doing the whole online remote sales thing as well. What do I do? You know what
Mm.
I mean? what do I do? And I had Jordan in my corner as well when it came to like the mindset stuff. Um, but yeah, like at that point, I landed the promotion. A day later or 2 days later, I literally handed in my resignation because I'd landed the other offer. And then I was meant to stay on for like a month or something, right, until they hire someone else. But I didn't want to do that, obviously. Um, and we agreed on me staying, but then eventually, like, it was just like, dude, you're gonna be checked out. There's no point, you know. So they just said, all right, we can just organize for you to leave. And then I was like, yes, sweet as. Now I just started that offer, right? So when I started that offer, and that's a bit of a story because I didn't vet it properly, to be honest. I let the excitement get the
Mm,
best of me. The thing is,
mm,
I had vetted every like all those interviews that I did, except for like really the fitness one, to be honest, because that was kind of just like get the reps in or whatever. I had done like the vetting. I would hop on the interview and like, get specifics, revenue, how much you're spending on ads, how many booked calls. With this one, I didn't really do it too much.
mm,
I think maybe because like the owner had like a really fucking big personality, to be honest.
mm,
And I was like, and from the recruiter it was coming from, I was like, it's legit. You know what I mean? Which it is legit, but it's like I went into it wasn't going to give me what I needed, right? So I was in that offer for like 2 months. Um, and this is where the learning lesson comes in, right? So I quit the job, but I had the intention of going to Thailand, so overseas. But then when I found out the offer wasn't what it was set out to be, because I was told it's like 5 to 8 booked calls a day and all that kind of stuff. When I asked, when I actually start their offer, that's not the case. And it turns out the 5 to 8 booked calls is actually not even new calls. Like it's follow-ups. You know what I mean? So like you've done a
mm,
call with the business, all right, let's set up a second meeting. Okay, well, we've got some decision makers involved. Maybe we have to set up a third meeting. So these aren't actually new calls. You know what I mean?
mm,
And in my head, I was like, far out. Like, what decision did I make? But I was still optimistic. I was like, cool. This is like pretty new offer. Not 100% new, but I was like, they're really like ramping up now with everything, and I'm getting in early, right? And I was doing pretty well. I'm like, if I stick this out as they grow, I can actually like set myself like how do I say it? Um, I guess just like be a pillar in the business. For the next 1, 2, 3 years. They said, oh, if you keep doing this, you're gonna be a sales manager, all that kind of stuff. In the next year, we're gonna have closes under you,
mm.
which is all great, but like when you're not making the kind of income you want to make, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So I didn't vet that offer properly. I went into it. I had so much optimism, dude. And at the same time, I was like, I'm not gonna go to Asia. I was like to Jordan, dude, I'm not going to Thailand. It's not working out. I can't, like, I don't have enough back in me in terms of like savings and like the offer's not going crazy. He was like, dude, just go do it. You'll figure it out. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And I'm glad he actually did that. Because the thing is,
Mm,
if he hadn't, and I was in that, because that was a low position for me, dude. Like that was a low point when it came to this journey. Because I just quit my job. Financially, I didn't have a lot of backing behind me, and it wasn't making me a lot of money either. You know what I mean? So I actually interviewed for like it was still a remote sales role, but it was like more corporate style, still like employee model. You know what I mean? So I did go for an interview while I was on that offer because I was like,
mm,
dude, like this isn't gonna work out. But the thing is, Jordan gave me that push. He's like, dude, just go, make it happen. And he would hype me up so much on the calls. And I literally just went and booked my flights. I'm like, I'm making it happen,
mm,
you know? And then like literally 10 days after that, I was flying over to Vietnam. And dude, that was quite a journey. I mean, this is my first day back actually. But that was
mm,
quite a journey because it was like a really low point still, but it's like at the same time I'm accomplishing everything that I want to accomplish. Like we literally look back on the sales call that we had together, location freedom, financial freedom, all that kind of stuff. And dude, 1 year later, I'm literally traveling to Vietnam. And I've just gone all in on myself. But it's like because I actually went all in, and this refers back to a video that you posted as well that I watched in February, January when I wasn't doing
mm,
anything, which really got to my head. Because you were talking about Shay, like Shay, how we moved to Argentina, left everything behind, and now is making 10, 15, 20K. It's probably like killing it right now, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Shay, by the way. He's the one that got me into deal fuel.
Legend.
Um, but like that really got to my head. I'm like, fire, all these boys are literally making this happen. And like I'm here just in this matrix and I'm meant for more, you know? But then I took that leap for myself. And because I took that leap, I had no other choice, right? There was no like interviewing for corporate roles and going back to the 9 to 5. I put myself in a situation where I have to make it work, or I'm literally going to starve in another country. You know
Mm.
what I mean? I'm literally going to starve in another country, which I came
Yeah.
to terms with. I'm like to Peter, dude. I even told Jordan, I'm like, dude, it's fine. Like if I go a couple of days, couple of weeks without food, it's fine. Who cares?
Hmm.
I'll make it. I'll make it work. Um, and yeah, dude, like I kept I was in there with the offer and hearing the promises, all that kind of stuff. And they're great people, by the way, not bad
Yeah.
people at all. I think B2B is very hard to have like the like consistency when it comes to calls. I could be wrong on
Yep.
that. You can correct me on that, but it seems like to be pretty hard compared to B2C. It was a newer offer. It was like in the baby stages. Alongside that, like the marketing guys are a lot more conservative. It's like we want everything to be perfectly dialed in, minimize ad spend, most return on value. Whereas like the CEO on that side of things, as I was leaving, they were like, dude, guys, let's ramp up the ad spend. You know what I mean? Like we've
Mm.
got a closer just sitting there, not getting calls booked in. And I was telling him, I'm like, guys, like, what's going on? We can't keep going like this. And they offered me like a base salary and all that kind of stuff. And it was just coming to this point. Everything was just like bottling up. And I was like, this isn't going to work out. Good thing is though, like I had a like I was very complacent because I was like, it's going to work out, right? But I think it was optimism, but also false optimism because I guess that mindset of not wanting to put in the inputs to get another offer was also there. I was comfortable because I had an offer, which doesn't really matter, dude. If you're not making money, who cares if you have an offer? You know what I mean? It's that 9 to 5 mindset. It's like, oh, I'm in a company. That's all that matters. But like when it comes to this space, it doesn't matter, dude. You're not getting paid. It doesn't matter if you're technically hired or employed or under a contract by someone. It doesn't really matter. So I had that mindset, but when it came to that point where I'm like, this isn't going to work out. You know what I mean? Um, I started putting in some inputs and then I forgot literally, yeah, I started looking at job posts, applying for jobs, reaching out to people. But then obviously like Deal Fuel as well came along and Devontae posted on his Instagram that he was looking for Aussie closers and then I messaged him and then boom. You know what I mean? Now a lot may say, I mean, it definitely is luck, right? It's also me investing in myself into a program as well. Because at that point when I invested in it was months ago. I didn't know necessarily what the program was or what it was going to be. To me, it was opportunity costs. And for those guys out there wanting to invest and they're on the fence, just do it. Like I'm not saying go into scams or anything, just do it. Like it's either you invest in yourself and it pays off, or you invest and you lose a couple $100, right? But now because I invested a couple $100, I'm in an offer that's going to probably make me 20, 30, probably more than that, $1,000 a month, you know? So hit him up, did an interview, and then it took a couple of weeks to get onboarded, and then now I'm basically here, doing what I'm doing. So yeah, dude,
Yeah.
been quite a
And
journey.
yeah, absolutely. And so, and the last part that you left out there was that in the last 30 days while traveling the world, being in Vietnam, Da Nang, you made 10.5K in commissions in a 30-day period
Yeah,
in your first month.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude,
Insane.
it's crazy. Yeah, it's
It's
crazy.
crazy. And so yeah, and we spoke about this before getting on the call. Like you want to achieve more, you want to do more. I understand that. But as I talk about all the time, 10K a month as a milestone is super significant because it's such a high mountain to climb because as we spoke about earlier, like all the beliefs that are battling against you and everything that's involved, like it's a serious achievement.
Mhm,
And I'm not saying it's easy from here, but I can tell you it's a lot easier because
mhm,
you've now built up the belief systems. You know that you can do it. You know that it's possible. You're surrounded by other people that earn more than you, right? Guys in the offer they're doing 15K a month and 20K a month,
mhm,
right? You mentioned there was a
mhm,
guy before um, who's at the top of the offer and he's making $20,000 a month, and he's not been there
mhm,
for very long. right? Double than what you're making. So you see this proof of concept of like, well, I made 10K a month, but now I can double my income, which is very
Yeah.
exciting. And to give the guys context, what are you selling and how do you help people with what you offer?
So I'm selling a biz op offer. So it's basically like an agency. It's a marketing agency, right? But they also sell like the owner. He also has another program, so a coaching program, which basically teaches people how to send like cold emails, like customized cold emails, basically generating leads for the marketing agency. Right? Marketing agency basically takes it from there, closes the sale, fulfills the service, and the student gets literally 50% of whatever comes in. So honestly, dude, like it's a sweet ass offer, dude. Like even me, I got shiny object syndrome. I was like,
Mm,
man, like I should be doing this. Like it works. Like there's someone in the program. There's a girl who's been in there for a couple of years, which they're gonna do a testimonial with. I think she's doing like 40,000 British pounds a month, which is like 80K Australian a month, which is,
mm,
dude, that's nuts. Requires work, but like that's nuts when you think about it. So it's good to be in an offer as well, because a lot of the programs. I mean, I can't speak for a lot of the programs. Like at least I know like previous one I was in, like fulfillment has to be there, dude. You know what I mean?
100%.
Like it's great to know that when I'm out on the call with someone and I want to and I'm like trying to help them, right? That they're actually going to come into something that is going to change their life. Because like I have 100% conviction in this, and I'm actually going to get my like family into this as well eventually. You know what I mean? To actually
Mm,
do something like this. So like it's actually really good knowing that that the owner himself actually cares. Lockie actually really cares about the students, and it works. You know what I mean? At the end of the day,
mm.
it is up to the student themselves, right? But
Yeah.
like it works. What we provide works. So yeah, it's solid.
Yeah, big time. I think you like delivery is not just important from like can you make money as a salesperson
Mhm.
perspective, but it's very important for longevity. But also with sales as a skill, you're essentially, we spoke about this on a coaching call on Thursday, which is that
Mhm.
I think one of the guys said to what someone said when we were doing a call recording, isn't that manipulative? I'm like, yeah, it is manipulative, but it's manipulative in a positive way because if you truly believe what you offer and what you have as a company is to a benefit of somebody, and they've told you they want it, and they told you why they want to do it, they've told you the
Mhm.
situation, what happens if they don't do anything, and the problems they're encountering, it's
Mhm.
in your moral and ethical uh, responsibility to sell them
Mhm.
into that offer. And if you are learning how to sell, you need to use that power for good. You can't be going and selling a shitty offer where people don't have success and there is no results. Because I'd say like perfect combination of an offer, um, fulfillment is one of them, but that's just one of
Mhm.
the many big parts of a good offer. It needs to have a performing sales team that's actually making the money that you want. It has to have a good sales process already. It has to be long standing. It has to have, again, reverting back to the point, results, because you are right. Majority of the industry just sucks. It's not
Yeah.
good. That's the reality of things. And that's why not only is networking so important so you can find those in the first place, because again, a lot of guys will think they don't exist, but you yourself, firsthand experience, know that they exist and they're out there.
Mhm.
Um, so discover them with networking, land them with your interviewing skills, but also thirdly, be able to ask the right questions and have someone with experience to tell you whether or not um, this offer is going to make you money
Yeah.
or it does get client results. Because people can say they
Yeah.
get client results, but where is the proof? It's like after this interview now and Reese's case study the following week thereafter, we'll have 22 case studies in less than like for RSA, 22 case studies in about like a year and a half. I
Mhm.
don't know anybody
Cool.
in high ticket sales. I mean, everyone can look up on YouTube, have a look around. There is nobody that's done that amount of volume to the quality of the level of case studies as well in the
Mhm.
time that we've been running. It's just simply because we care. And finding those people that actually give a fuck about you, as you would know, demonstration example of me reaching out to you when you've just kind of
Yeah.
been on the sidelines for a while. Like that is so rare to find. And when you find that in an
Mm.
offer, man, it's time to run it up because you know that as long as you sell someone into something, um, or when you do sell someone that they're going to make it work if they put in the effort, just on them.
100%, dude. 100%. And what I'm trying to ingrain in my brain, what Lockie is like, because I'm still approaching this as a sales rep, right? But really, it's a transformation of someone's life. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even like me coming into the room, like the RSA, like it wasn't me like being, oh, I want to be taking sales calls all day and all that kind of stuff. It was like me wanting to transform my life to have that freedom for myself and take control of my life, have the location freedom, have the financial freedom. This is just the vehicle, right? So it's like when someone hops on like a call with you, it's like they're living paycheck to paycheck. They got a family they need to take care of. They could be. I spoke to a guy yesterday who any day now he could lose his job potentially, and because he's been in the industry for 25 years, and he's a senior, his industry doesn't really want him. It's the tech industry. It's hard to get hired, and he has a family of four to take care of. You know what I mean? And that's on his
Yeah.
mind. And it's like we're going back to like the manipulative kind of thing. Look, I mean, sure, there's some manipulation to it, you know, but it's not in a negative way, dude. Like I didn't close this guy yet. I got a down payment off him, but I did push him
Mm,
at the end because he needs it.
yeah.
He needs it, and people like it, just like Jordan pushed me because I needed that push. That guy needs it. If he doesn't do this, what's going to happen? He's going to go back to his job, worrying about every single day whether he's going to be let go or not. And then
Mhm.
eventually, once he gets let's go, what's going to happen? He's already living paycheck to paycheck. It's not going to turn out good to him. But the thing is, he has limiting beliefs. He has a limited mindset in what he can do, and he's scared. So he needs
Yeah.
someone like us to actually give him that push to actually do something about it. You know what I mean? And I actually like there was another guy as well who I told. I'm like, dude, he told me, oh, I feel kind of pushed into this, even though he closed. Like he told me this after he closed, and I'm like,
Mm,
dude, sometimes all we need is a push. You hopped on this call at the end of the day because you wanted help, right? Sometimes we just need a tap on the butt and some encouragement to actually make a change. So, like whatever program it is, whether it's like, emails or sales, even drop shipping, it's all just a vehicle for that transformation, I guess. You know what I mean? Because if you break down a sales call, dude, like most of it is going through the actual prospect. Like, what's their life look like? What have they done? What are some of the limiting beliefs they need to overcome? Sales pitch is 5 to 10 minutes. You know what I mean?
yeah, big
So,
time. Yeah. And it really is about changing lives, and that is the transformation you're taking people through. And yeah, I'd exactly describe it that way. And so you're making 10K a month now. You've
mhm.
come back from Vietnam. You're visiting your
Mhm.
partner in Melbourne, which is super exciting. And you have the flexibility and the freedom to do that now. How has life changed as compared to a year ago? Like, what's different for you?
Feel a lot more free, dude.
Mm,
Like I'm not gonna go crazy. Like when I say free, I don't mean I'm gonna go crazy and do whatever I want. But
yeah.
knowing that I can wake up tomorrow and if I want to, I can go Argentina, I can go Europe, I can go back to Asia, I can go Gold Coast, I can do whatever I want. It feels really good. I probably
Mm,
won't do all those things in a short period of time, but it just feels good knowing that I can do those things and that I'm not tied down by anyone. And also
mm.
like the finances, it obviously, you know what I mean? Like if you think about it, like most people, the average wage these days is 5 to 6K a month. Like realistically, doesn't matter what job you're in, unless you're like 10, 5, 10, 15 years into your job, even then, you're not making 10K a month, right? Like most people aren't making 10K a month from their regular job, at least after tax. So even knowing like having that financial abundance just feels really good as well, even though I've been there for a month. But it's like it just like you have an abundance mindset, you know what I mean? It's like why would you even want to go back to that? You know what I mean?
Mm.
It's like why would you want to go back to being so capped and limited? Even though it's safe, why would you want to go back to that? Especially when I talk to like the prospects that, come on and you hear about everything like paycheck to paycheck. It's like I'm glad I took the risk. Otherwise, I would be that person the next, couple years, couple months. So I'm glad I took the risk. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, a lot of things, dude. Like a lot more self-fulfillment, knowing I went all in and actually made it happen. And I'm still yet to make it happen, dude. Like this is just one
hmm.
step, right?
Beginning.
Um,
Yeah.
like yeah, having like more finances obviously, is always great. Location freedom is good. Um, but yeah, just making it happen, setting out to do something and seriously making it happen. Like I literally, like you sent me our sales call, the lay down sale.
Mm,
Um,
mm,
and I was literally like talking about, yeah, I want location freedom, I want to quit my job, all that kind of stuff. And a year later, actually looking back and being like, shit, I actually did it. Like I literally said what I'm gonna do,
mm,
and I did it. Like, you know, it feels really good because like imagine I didn't actually take the risk. Even if I failed, like completely, imagine I didn't take the risk, like being 25, 26, 27, 30 years old, knowing that I was too scared to do anything, it would eat up at me for the rest of my life.
big time. And it's like
Yeah.
once you're beyond that barrel and you've made your first dollars online, it is very much like the red pill and the blue pill. You cannot go back. There
Yeah.
is no way that I could ever go back. I would figure out a solution. I could do anything. I would
Hmm.
make it work because ultimately I could never go back to a job. I could never go back to working in a corporate company. I could never do any of that ever again. I could never have a boss that's passively aggressively breathing down my neck, giving me nagging comments, right? Very
Hmm.
specific situation, as you could tell. Um, you know, I could never go back to that. After you see the light, you see what's beyond that and what's actually possible for you. There is no possible chance you can go back. There is no coming back
Hmm.
from that. When you experience true freedom of going where you want, when you want, not having to communicate with anybody, as long as you're on the right time zone, man, there's a freedom that I hope everybody can experience. That's why I'm so passionate about the RSA, because it's like, yes, it's going to be hard, and yes, it won't happen
Hmm.
overnight, and yes, you'll make a ton of mistakes, and yes, it won't be super easy. But would you say it's worth it at the end of the day?
100%, dude.
Yeah.
100%. It's all worth it.
It's probably the hardest
It's
thing
all
you've
worth
ever
it.
done in your life, but you'd go back and do it all again.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. For sure.
And so, what do you feel like if there's some value we can give a lot of the listeners that are beginners as well? They're looking at high
Hmm.
ticket sales, like, or they're maybe even already in it, because I do have people that are in the space that are looking to get better results come to me. What
Hmm.
uh, what would you say your biggest learnings are from high ticket sales in the last year?
Probably a few things. First one probably applies to everything in life is like failure only happens when you actually quit. You know what I mean? Like I technically stopped during like the Christmas period, like January, February, but I never actually quit. I just came back. So really like you only fail when you quit. As long as you keep going, no matter what, you're gonna get there. Sounds cliche, but I just have to throw that out there because it's true. Alongside that, um, you're like I was speaking to Josh, right, who you just brought on board. He's from my
Mm,
work as well. Like I was on the phone with him. I'm like, dude, like you're gonna come into this. It's not gonna be your regular job, right? Where you can like, bludge around and still hit target and all that kind of stuff. You're gonna eat a lot of shit, right? You're gonna go through the first offer, second offer, third offer, fourth offer. Who knows how many, right? That because I went through like three or four, right?
mm,
You might go through more or less, but you're gonna eat a lot of shit. But the thing is, if you just stick in there, that's probably just a period of like 6 months, 6 to 8 months, right? And that's just gonna go like that. If at any moment during that period of eating shit you give up, then you're done, right? You can always come back to it, but it's like you're done for that period of time. But if you just like stick it out and you go through it, then 6 months time, dude, you're gonna look back and you know, you're actually glad that you ate that shit, which is the situation I'm in now. Because realistically, I mean, I set out with Jordan to make it like a 3 month process, 3 months, 10, 15K a month, but it wasn't that. It's pretty much been 6 months. But and you
mm.
can really change your life in 6 months, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You can really change your life in 6 months, you know? Um, but like anyone sitting on the fence about doing it, or anyone who is already invested in themselves or is already in this space, um, and it's kind of still like uncertain about it, most people are probably young who've gotten into this, right? Like most of the guys in the
Yeah.
RSA, 20 to 25, probably some people above that. Like you have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? Would you rather go all in and really make this happen and change your life? Triple, quadruple, five times your income, within a year. And then even for the years to come, dude, you can seriously make 40 to 100K a month in online sales. Like it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. Like there's people out there doing it, right? Would you rather like just go all in and make that happen, or at least give that an attempt, or like sit on the fence, be like, oh, I don't know if it's going to work for me. Should I invest? Should I put in the inputs and just like, stay on the path you're on? You know what I mean? So just go all in, as cliche as it sounds. You're gonna eat shit, stay in there. I guess more tactical stuff when it comes to your offers as well. Do proper vetting. You know what I mean? Don't just go into any offer because it's an offer. That's the nine to five mindset. It's like having a job because like you're under a company. It sounds great and it's good if you're a 9 to 5 like wagey, but realistically in this space doesn't matter. You can be employed by three different companies and have no income. What good is it to you? So do your vetting when it comes to the actual offers themselves, specifically revenue, how much you're spending on ads, how many calls are getting booked in. Most important thing, like you mentioned, proof in the pudding. What's the sales team look like?
Yeah.
I've been in two, actually I was in three offers where I was the only closer. You know what I mean? Like where's the proof in the pudding there? You know what I mean? Now I'm on the team that, I know I can make 20K a month, and it gives you something to strive for, but also shows that the offer is proven. So that's probably the most important part, actually, I would say, out of all of this. Because, if they show you the team, then all the other stuff doesn't really matter, right? I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong there, but like if there's already a couple of people on the team making 10, 15, 20K, then, who cares about ad revenue, ad spend, and all that kind of stuff, I guess. I'm probably wrong there, but
No, not
that's
at
the more
all.
tactical, yeah. Well, that's the more tactical advice I have. But yeah, dude. Trying to think if there's anything else. Keep pushing. Keep
Mm.
pushing.
Yeah.
Keep
No,
pushing. It's
that's
worth it.
fantastic advice, man. Yeah, because like I like to say to a lot of the guys and in general, is that I didn't create this. I got told this by a mentor, but if you're gonna eat
Mm,
shit, take big bites, don't nibble.
mm,
A lot of people like, oh yeah, maybe I'll just kind of dip my toes in or whatever. No, no, just go full force at it because it's gonna suck in the beginning. It inevitably will because with high ticket sales and sales in general, but particularly because the space is strictly commission only, it's very rare that you get a base.
mm.
Yes, there is no ceiling, and you can earn 40K a month. Like Kashi, one of our top students, are doing. Like he would do 40K this month. He sent me a message this morning. It's like, I'm gonna hit 40K this month.
Crazy, bro.
Yes, you can do these types of numbers. Yes, absolutely. But that means there's no floor either. Like you will suck in the start. You'll take time to get good. But if you can have that long term thinking of if I just stick to this skill, I get good at it. I know that I'm going to suck at it at first. If I can think a little bit longer term, and I don't want things now, today, tomorrow, next week, next month, you have no idea what you could create. You could be like Navid, or you could be any of the 20 plus case studies we have on the YouTube channel, right? The only thing that's standing between you and that is just work and time. That's it. And as long as you get the right guidance, work with, me and the guys and the team inside the RSA, I'm very confident that nearly 99% of people can get there, right? There's a few people that I talk to on calls where I'm just like, maybe not the best fit for you, right? Because at the core of it, sometimes some people just aren't meant for sales. But for the vast majority of people that are watching this, if you are willing to dedicate 6 months to a year to really putting all your energy into this, taking that risk, taking that bet, and getting after it, and just putting in the effort, there is no telling where you could be, and you could exceed your wildest dreams, just like Naveed has. So I think those are all very good points. And so after being in the training, you've been working with me for a year. What am I like? What would your feedback be on me? What's your feedback for the training? Obviously, don't be too harsh, of course, but what have your thoughts been like actually working with me as a whole?
Yeah, I won't crack any jokes for professional reasons, but no, it's been really good. It's been really good. I mean, I had your support from the start, dude. I mean, like even second day when I came in, you literally gave me an offer, pretty much like just on the silver platter. And then you're always there if you need like any questions asked or anything. You're running the calls. Um, and like you actually care. I know it sounds cliche, and some people are probably going to think I'm just saying that, but it's true. Like you literally reached out to me when I was doing nothing, and it's something as simple as that. It wasn't like, you know, if you need some hand holding to actually do everything for you, then it's probably this kind of life isn't for you. But like even just that message just like lit a fire up under my ass. And I was like, fuck, like I'm not doing anything. Like just that accountability really helped. And then having that support there, even like in more recent time, because that was 6 months ago or 8 months ago now. It's like you literally when that offer wasn't going well, you helped me get into another offer as well, like which you referred me to. So you've been in
Mm.
my corner pretty much every step of the way, dude. But what I will say is obviously it's like how I feel you work is you have to see people actually showing up and putting in the work for them to
Yeah.
be rewarded. It's not like, oh, you just come in and it's like, yeah, because you're part of the RSA, you've made the investment, I'm going to help you out. I mean, I feel like I've showed up and you've probably seen me take that risk and go all in on myself. And like the universe rewards you. You know, obviously the universe itself, but like your peers as well, like your mentors and your coaches, they reward you when they see like you're actually willing to make a bet on yourself so they can take a risk on you as well. That's the way I feel that you work, you know?
Yeah. No, that's bang on. And I think it's a really good point to highlight is it's one thing to give me money and join the RSA, but it's another to actually show up and put in the effort, right? I will help you with 110% of my energy, every resource I possibly have. I'll throw everything at you because I actually care. And I'm helping you with a transformation that I personally struggle with for years. And I've gone through every worst thing you can think about in the high ticket sales space. I've been there, I've done it, I've experienced it. I've failed more than any of my clients have ever tried, in my opinion. Right. I've really done that.
Mm,
If you come in and you don't do any of the work, there's no point. Don't even book in a
mm,
call, don't even try to join the RSA. It's not going to work for you. But if you are willing to come to coaching calls, right? Right now, there's 8 coaching calls every single week, group coaching calls. If you're willing to ask me questions, if you're willing to show up and you're willing to put in the effort, I'm going to give you everything. But I'm not going to help people who just pay me money and do nothing, right? There's no point there, right? I think a lot of people should be able to understand that. It's a great point to highlight because you see the people on calls, the people who are on calls are crushing it. And they are the case
mm,
studies of the channel. They're doing super
mm,
well, they're crushing it. And it's no surprise because you ask for help, you attend the help that you actually paid for, and you get the guidance that you actually need instead of just kind of basing things off the information you've seen in the training program and just wandering off and doing your own thing, which is very
mm.
important. If you plan to join the community, the RSA, it's important for you to know that, again, the work happens after you join, right? The easy part is giving me the money. The hard part is actually doing
Yeah.
the work, right? That's what's beyond that. RSA is not a magic pill, although it's close. Uh, it's not going to, you're not going to just pay me money and results are just going to turn up like that. It does take time and it does take work. And so for you, from your perspective, how would you describe the training program to someone who actually isn't in there?
Yeah, so the training program is pretty much everything you need from A to Z, right? Like, most importantly, when it comes to this space, it's landing an offer, right? Landing the best possible offer. I think that's the key thing here, which you'd probably agree, right? Like that's pretty much what you preach. So I think the
Yeah.
key points of the training are actually around that. Like everything from like networking, like job posts. I won't give away too much of the source on the call. You got to join the RSA for that, boys. uh, but yeah, main part is obviously getting the jobs. There's mindset stuff as well. You cover the sales skills as well, like for the fundamentals. When it comes to that, but I mean, you've said it yourself as well. Every offer is going to have their own sales process. You know what I mean? So like you provide a really good overview when it comes to like your sales process and the NEPQ, which is pretty much what most people are going to use anyways. Like most offers use. But really, where the meat and potatoes is actually landing that A plus offer. Because once you actually land that offer, dude, then you just go into it. They're going to have a sales process. Like if it is an A plus offer, they're going to have a sales process. They're going to have a team, and you're just going to ramp up from there. You know what I mean? But
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty much everything that you need A to Z, regardless.
fantastic. And what if the comments aren't already obvious already, how likely would you be to recommend RSA? You've mentioned before what someone should do if they're sitting on the fence right now, but how likely would you be to recommend me, the team, RSA to someone that's kind of on the fence?
Oh, I mean, 100%, dude. I mean, I've already brought a few of my mates in already. Like one of the boys, Sabin,
Yeah.
he's literally doing like a engineering job and he's making like 4K on the side, just part time. He's not even doing this as a full time thing. Imagine you're working an engineering job, right? And then on the side, you're making an extra $4,000 a month as well. How crazy is that? You know, he's probably
Mm,
making more than like the senior engineers like combined in his firm, which is pretty crazy. Um, and yeah, I had another mate actually come on board as well recently. So yeah, I mean, 100% I would recommend it. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say go to any other program, not just sugarcoating this, but genuinely because I feel you actually care. It's not just a program or a course where you chuck at the person and it's like, here you go. Um, but you have to like if you do come into the RSA, you have to meet Connor in the middle there, right? He's not going to chase you
mm,
down and hold your hand, trying to make this work for you. It's not like that. If you're putting in the work and you're meeting halfway there, he's going to help you out as much as you need as well. So he's there for you,
big
100%.
time. And if you have any other final notes or anything you'd like to share with the guys that are watching, what would it
Just go all in,
be?
go all in, make it happen. You know what I mean? Whether it's investing in yourself, whether it's investing in Connor, whether it's quitting the job, traveling, moving overseas, just do it. Don't look back and just, make it work. You have to make it work. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, that's all I would really say. Just take that step and make it happen because you're going to look 6 months down the road, you're going to look back and be like, wow, right? What have I done? But then on the other side of things, if you didn't do anything, like imagine meeting that person that didn't do anything. That would hurt, right? Like if I actually met myself who stayed in a corporate sales job at this point in time, 8 months into the year, I would not feel good. So for anyone on the fence, whether it's investing and traveling or, just doing the whole online thing when it comes to sales, just do it. That's really all I would say.
Very well said. Very well said. So, guys, hopefully you enjoyed today's interview. I know it was a long one, as they usually are, but I think there's just so much to cover. So, hopefully, you guys enjoyed the length of this one and the quality. So, as per usual, if you want to get help, just like Navid has, if you want to be like all the other case studies on the YouTube channel, you know where to find me. You know where you can talk to me or the team. There's a link down in the description box where you can fill in a quick little application. Take some time to do so, right? Don't put the reason why you want to put the RSA as I think you are cool, right? Actually put some effort in your application because I do cancel applications all the time. I know that's crazy, but RSA is at the point where yeah, it's great money and all those type of things, but it's really gone beyond that. It's really, 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 really about helping people. And if I don't believe I can help you, and if I don't think you're serious, I will definitely turn you away. So if you want to be like Naveed, if you think you're somewhat similar to Naveed and everyone else on the channel, go ahead, book in a call, and we will see if we can help you execute on the same transformation Naveed's had, 6 to 12 months from now. So thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.